Hello STI students, welcome to Module 5. Hey, here we are. Didn't that go by quick? So these are my tips for your Module 5 assignment. So the first thing you're going to do in Part 1 is use your revolver as a demonstration piece. So you know the drill. Anytime we pick up a revolver, we're going to clear it. Open the cylinder, visually and physically check. This revolver is clear. Pretty simple. So you're going to talk about things that you would check to assess the health of the revolver. So the question is, do we take it apart to do this? It doesn't say. Well, that's up to you. If you want to take off the side plate and point out areas inside with the internal components, things that you would check for health, hey, go for it. That's fine. You don't have to though. And I think there's a lot to be said for being able to do a good job assessing the health of a revolver without taking it apart. So for instance, let's say you go to a pawn shop or a gun shop and you want to buy a used revolver. I don't think they're going to let you take the side plate off to see what kind of shape it's in. So being able to do an external evaluation of a revolver and figure out what kind of shape it's in, I think there's a lot to be said for that. Okay. So for Part 2, you have to describe 10 learning experiences, things that you gained throughout this course. And that would come out to about 2 learning experiences per week. And certainly I hope you learned at least 2 things per week. I've run into in the past though some students with a lot of experience who would say, well, I knew all this stuff before I took the class, so I really didn't learn anything. Well, it's great that you have all of that knowledge. However, to grade this is a 25-point section, and so I figure each learning experience is worth 2.5 points. So if you didn't learn anything, well, you're going to lose 25 points on this assignment. So try to come up with 10. It really shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so moving on to Part 3. So for Part 3, you're going to talk about some unique features of the revolver platform and discuss those. Now, you can use the revolver if you want as a demonstration piece, but if we're picking this back up, please do me a favor, just check it again. Get in the habit. Every time you pick it up, visually and physically check. It really doesn't take that long. You don't have to though, but as you're discussing these unique features of the revolver platform, if you are citing outside resources, you should be citing those, but you don't have to. Now, back in Module 1, some students lost a lot of points because they didn't cite any sources, because it was required. It was in the grading rubric that you had to have at least 2 sources, at least 1 source per, and it wound up being a lot of points. But look at the grading rubric. It is not required for this assignment to have any outside sources. So if you can talk about these unique features without using outside resources, that's cool. And all this has to take place in 10 minutes. Please try to stay on time. You probably know by now that if you go over, you're going to lose points. And you should be able to do all this in 10 minutes without too much trouble. And that's it. Those are my tips for your Module 5 assignment. As always, if you have any questions, never hesitate to give me a shout. That is what I'm here for.